All right, guys, today's piece is a disaster. We are going to fix all the damage, and I'm going to show you how to fix it with a sander. I will teach you all my best tips and tricks for sanding furniture flips today. Let's go. So one thing that I get a lot of questions on is sanding. And so I asked my followers on my other social media pages what kind of questions they had. So what I'm going to do today is go through all of those questions and try to answer them while I refinish this piece. As you can see, this piece has lots of damage. It will need lots of sanding, and I'm so excited because we are going to make it beautiful. So let's talk sanding, and the number one question I get is how to choose the grit of your sandpaper. So I always like to start as low as I possibly can if I'm trying to remove anything from a piece, if I'm removing a finish, if I'm removing paint. I always start with a low grit. Now this piece has damage, so I started with a really low grit, 60 to 80 grit, just to remove all of that harsh scratch that's on there. If this piece would have been a piece that had a wood veneer, then I would have started with a medium grit, a little bit higher, because I would want to make sure that I don't sand through any of that veneer. But what I went ahead and did was go ahead and do the lower grit first and follow that with a medium grit. What following it with a medium grit does is it makes sure that there are no swirl marks if you're using a circular sander, and it also allows you to get an even, smoother finish. And if you want your piece to be as smooth as a baby's bottom, I know that's kind of weird sounding, but I think it is a good indication of how you want your furniture to feel. You use a really fine grit. So my Surf Prep, it has some amazing pads that you can add to it where you can sand on the edges, and they are foam pads that will allow you to go around those edges without breaking or hurting the wood. Let's take a second away from sanding for a minute and talk about this metal. I didn't like the look of the top with the metal, so I decided to take an amazing paint that I love and cover it. I used this Miracle paint, and I really loved the coverage. I started putting the paint on, and I'm not sure if it's going to look great, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I was sure I did not want the metal on the drawers, so we pulled those off. And as I struggle to remember which drawer goes where, there we go, let me just remind you, I would love to have you here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it is so much fun to do furniture flips together. So go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button, and let's learn together. Once I got all of the metal off, I decided we should add some texture to the drawers. This is a simple peel and stick paper, and it has a texture added to it. I found it on Amazon, and it looks very expensive, but it's not, which is the way we like it around here. I cut the pieces a little bit larger than the space, pushed it down, got an indentation, and then used a blade to cut it to size. I am absolutely falling in love with this texture. Let's figure out what to do with these knobs. I have some spray paint, and I think that these will look good with the black added to them. Quick tip, it's super easy just to spray these when they're actually in the packaging. I left them outside to dry and decided to clear a few pieces out of my garage. Do you know what this piece is? It is actually a piece I just refinished in my last video, so be sure and check out that video. Now this is what I came back to. Yeah, I was not excited. The wind had blown dirt and dust all over, so I decided to sand it down, and they were good as new. I used my Craig jig placement tool and got ready to drill new holes for the hardware. So many things were going right with this piece, but I just couldn't get over one thing. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm making a bad decision. From the camera you can't tell, but there's like indentions on it, and I want to see what the wood looks like underneath. I think I'm gonna pull it off. I don't know if it's a bad idea or a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's see. So I decided to take this metal top off, and oh, just wait till you see what's underneath. It was a lot of work to get it off, but yeah, you'll see. Also, my kids told me I look like Rosie the Riveter. Do you agree that I went for that look today? Finally got it off. I was seriously contemplating why I did this, especially since I had one more, but I figured it out. It all worked out. One thing that I haven't talked about in any of my videos is planing. I used a planer on this piece to even out the wood and then followed it with sanding. So sometimes you can mix sanding and stripping down a piece, or planing a piece and then sanding a piece, and do both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. If a piece is going to be more difficult to sand than it is to strip down, then that's whenever I use the stripping method first and then follow that with sanding. Do you think I made the right choice by sanding down the top, or do you think I should have left it painted metal black? I went ahead and did the same thing on this second piece and sanded it down, sealing it with a clear wax. So let's remember what this original set of pieces looked like. And here is the after. I have to say, typically I get some amazing videos after my pieces are done, but these sold within 5 minutes of me posting them. So someone came to pick them up and they did not last long. What do you think of this transformation? Do you like the wood tops? Would you have kept it dark? Or did you like the metal? Let me know in the comments. I hope you got some good sanding tips and tricks from this furniture flip, and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't answer. I would be happy to help you out, or we can learn together. As always, thank you so much for being here with the Furniture Flippers Guide. Be sure and check out all my other full tutorials, and remember not to let fear stop you. Let's keep learning together. You've got this.